Hello, friends. Welcome to Treena Talks Secret Source. I am Treena. I am a channeler, life strategist, numerologist, fourth generation psychic. I work with Australian bushflower essences, and I'm an energy alchemist, amongst other things. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to this channel where I am sharing channelings from divine beings to assist us in moving towards new earth or new consciousness. The thing I'd love about this is that if you're here, you probably have an interest, A, in spirituality, B, maybe in new earth, and C, maybe growing, evolving, ascending. This channel is for you if you fit into any or all of what I've just mentioned. We're building a warm community here, supportive, loving, caring, open-hearted. Today, I bring to you a special channeling. This is number 114. It was channeled on the 14th of February, 2024, of course, Valentine's Day, from the Egyptian goddess Isis. And you will not be surprised to hear that the topic is love. Very fitting for the 14th of February. Love. The path to spiritual enlightenment has changed over time. Many paths have been taken to great effect, depending on the needs and knowledge of the time, and very importantly, what was required to get people and the earth to where they needed to go. Like most things on the earth school, there is constant change, and the state of play is different depending on the needs of the time. Some may find comfort and empowerment by looking at how things were done in the past, and that's fine. But in terms of new earth, new ways need to be adopted. The energy of love has changed. When measured last century with a number of other energies, it was nowhere near the pinnacle. With the dominance of the twos in the year numbers, this has changed dramatically, as explained by numerology. Now, the vibration of love is the highest and strongest of them all. This has broad implications. Firstly, for the individual, it is time to look at the models of love you've experienced from birth until now. Who gave you what types of love? Conditional love, transactional love, begrudging love, words of affirmation, physical touch, gifts, acts of service, quality time, love me back love, manipulative love, narcissistic love, unconditional love, wholehearted love, divine love, nurturing, supporting love, resentful love, wounded love, rebound love, perfectionistic / critical / nitpicky love. There are some overlaps in some of these, but we seek to use examples that you can tap into to help you on your quest. Then when you've done this, identify who gave you, out of the major players, which type, and then what types you've offered others. In any examples of low vibration love, given or received, use your favorite strategies to release them from your energy bodies. Once this is done, it is time for a new epoch or era, embracing unconditional, universal, divine source love, where you open your heart and allow yourself to easily receive divine love and willingly offer it from an abundant space to others. The new currency is love. It is the most important thing in the world. It is the highest vibration, and it's the magic that is going to transform and transcend Earth. And those who are ready to be in new Earth energy. You are welcome to picture your heart expanding and opening up for you to invite this unconditional source love into your energy body. This is where leadership begins. Opening the heart to this energy, allowing new perspectives and approaches to life and business. It is truly a genuine, heart-centered approach. This message is deliberately shared with you on a day recognized by many as a day of love. Let's celebrate love, but also challenge how we define it. What's limiting and what's possible moving forward. Love is what will literally change the world. Packing a big punch. I don't know about you, but I loved that. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and share with those who you think may benefit. And I invite you to stay tuned to Musings with Simone, where we chat about what came up in the channeling. Doesn't mean that there's only one interpretation. You take from it what aligns with you. We're just chewing the fat, sharing ideas and thoughts, and taking it from there. Hello, friends. This is channeling 115 from the Egyptian goddess Isis, channeled on the 19th of February, 2024. Like channeling 114, it is on the topic of love. In the quest of and service to love, if possible, the first step is to love yourself. By loving yourself, you fill up your energy body with this high vibration energy. The goal is to get so full it overflows. And this overflow can be gleefully given to those around you and the world. This overflow will top others up and allow them to feel a special grace, for it is one example of unconditional or universal love. An overflow of love for you is not representative of egoic self-love. What I speak of is of the ilk of an appreciation of your magnificence as seen and appreciated by the divine and those in the heavenly realms. It is choosing to focus on the wit, beauty, enthusiasm, smarts, and potentials for example, that you have to offer. Once you know explicitly what your magnificence is, the next step is to bathe in the full appreciation of it. Really being grateful for what you bring to the table. Next, or as you are doing this, you can savor without jealousy, judgment, disappointment, or envy the magnificence of others. Really enjoy the multitude of gifts on offer and celebrate what we can do individually and collectively to make a difference to ourselves, others, and the world. Not only is this love in action, but it is also the principle of allness, ALLNESS. Truly appreciating ourselves and others and the wondrous splendor of the system as a whole. Many songs have been sung about love changing the world and making a difference, were planted as portents or predictions of things to come. With the exception of the Romantics and Optimists, at the time these songs were released last century, the majority could not believe such a thing could be true. Alas, my friends, we are entering, and indeed are, in the time where love's magic has been activated and escalated and is ready to be drawn upon to usher the planet towards these seismic shifts that will be known as New Earth. It is the phase that will be, but has been in the planning for longer than you can possibly perceive. People will be called to be expansive, growing their souls. It is our intent to support you in your role by giving you information that aids your understanding and gives practical advice. For those who can't conceive their magnificence, the first step is to entertain the possibilities of your gifts and get to know them well. Modalities like the gene keys will be helpful. The step for those already comfortable in this is to look at your comfort and remove ego and then enjoy the magnificence of those whose path you cross. Top yourself up and let it flow to others. Spread love throughout the land. Operate from a space of love. Let your intention be acting from love. Oh, oh, oh. These shifts will cause tidal waves of energetic changes on Mother Earth, making it very clear those who are acting from love and those who are engaged in lower energy frequencies. You alone don't have to make it all happen, but any change you can make will contribute to the whole, in keeping with universal laws. We invite you to ask for our guidance or assistance anytime you need it, for we are invested in co-creating New Earth with you. We are excited to do so. Thank you, and so it is. I Love this. Oh, that was a good one. Stay tuned for Musings with Simone. Hello, Simone.
Hi, Treena. Lovely to see you. Happy Wednesday, as
Happy
you say.
Wednesday. Lovely to see you too. I just love getting to do this with you.
I know. So great to be here, sharing this with you and everyone.
Thank you for your time and your energy. I just adore you. Quite a good segue, actually, for the topic that we're discussing today, which was the channeling that came through on Valentine's Day, most appropriately from the Egyptian goddess Isis, and it's the theme of love.
Perfect.
And what I was really struck by, I think that this book, Power versus Force, by David R. Hawkins, Dr. Hawkins, I think it was written in the early 90s. And perhaps one of the most interesting factors in it is this map of consciousness,
Ah,
where it kind of outlines, I don't know if it's hertz or what the measurement tool was, but it's an energetic measurement of various emotions or beings. So you've got shame at the bottom, which is a 20, and it goes up to enlightenment, which ranges between 700 and 1,000.
interesting.
What I found, because I'm guessing it's probably about 5 years or more that they've been saying to me that the energetic imprint of love is the highest vibration in the world. This is why I mentioned the early 90s part of it. And I must have found this book around that time, and I was absolutely shell-shocked to find that he put love at 500
Yeah.
out of a possible 1,000.
Mm.
But it does match with what they've been saying in terms of the energy and the vibration of love has increased dramatically.
Exactly. Yes. Reading through your channeling. So, yes, I found that interesting too, because I thought, wouldn't love always be at the top? But no, it moves around depending on actually what's happening on planet Earth.
And I think it's a very conscious thing about love's vibration being raised. Even from a numerological point of view, if you think about this was written in the 1900s, so you're under the vibration of the 1 and the 9, compared to in the 2000s, the 2 is a number that I associate with love and the
Yeah.
divine feminine. So the energy of it has also increased. And the earth has its own numerology. So it's got its own stuff going on, own energies at play that, of course, influence us. So I just thought that was really interesting how the energy of things shifts and changes, and that love is a really strong, important energy in our shifting consciousness at this point.
Yes. So it's ever changing, isn't it?
Yes. Did you love in this one how they gave lots of different types of love?
Yeah, I mean, because we all get stuck in that one or two versions of love, either romantic love or parental love. And yet there were all these other options, which I found absolutely fascinating. And, it was actually liberating to read some of these things, narcissistic love, manipulative love me back love. It was incredible.
And
Resent.
that's not an extensive list. That was
No,
just, I mean, there's obviously more.
yeah.
you and I had a conversation some weeks ago about the type of love that you're exposed to as a child and how that informs the kind of love that you expect and seek. And so when you think about all of these different types of love, like it makes sense, doesn't it, that people seek out the kind of love that they've experienced themselves, and to shift away from that love into a higher kind of love needs to be a very conscious decision that you put energy into to pull it off.
Definitely. But it's so good to know that, you know, we don't actually have to choose these loves we were given as a child or a young person. These options, we now have a choice to move away from it, not and not mirror it, mirror certain types of love which don't benefit us.
Yeah, 100%.
Mm.
I love that. And look, in our parents' time, and even when we were younger, we were not conscious of all these different types of love.
No.
Love was love. It was almost a two-dimensional thing. It was one thing, a flat thing, and it was what you had experienced, and that was that.
That was that. It's incredible, isn't it now?
Yeah. Did you
But
love in this one how, was it this one or the next one? I think the next one there was really practical steps in it. But in this one, I love the connection to leadership in this.
oh yeah,
Opening the heart to this energy and allowing new perspectives and approaches to life and business. And
I
this
love
is this truly heart-centered approach.
I know. I mean, that's a game changer, really. That's a game changer for everybody to show leadership in love.
Like, could you imagine in your own life? I just passed on the way home our neighbours who have given us grief from our perspective for decades, and who I've chosen to sort of just pull my energy back in. But over the past few months, things have changed.
Mm.
And so I drove past them and she gave me a big wave and I gave her a wave back, which is so little. But when you can get to a space of love instead of grudge and vengeance and I'm holding on to the energy of this hurt,
Yes.
when you can go, at the end of the day, we're all just trying to make our way through this thing called life.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're going to rub each other up the wrong way, and sometimes it's going to feel great, and everything in between. Can you imagine if some of the conflicts in the world, if the leaders could come from a space of love and open-heartedness,
I know.
what shifts there would be?
Yeah. Well, that's a really big question, isn't it? Could those leaders of the free world ever do that? Gee, it would be amazing.
And I love, again, I don't remember whether it was in this one or the one after, because they're both about love. But I love that there was, I think it's in the next one, that it was very much distinguishing against, it's not egoic to embrace your love of yourself and others. It's an egoless thing.
Yeah.
And when you take ego out of the equation, particularly when you're talking about power, war, conflict, it changes the whole game. If you come from a space of love, you see things completely differently. You see the humanity in others. You see the suffering in others.
Mm.
You go, what is the best way forward? How could we move forward in love rather than we're winning?
Yes.
I'm getting my way.
But you're absolutely right, taking the ego out of self-love. I don't think many people get that. It took me a while to get that one as well, because I'm thinking self-love it wasn't sitting comfortably with me until I read a bit more on it. It isn't about the ego. And it's a great example to others. If you've got self-love, that will flow out of you, into the wider space, into the community.
For a lot of women too, we've been taught to appreciate others, but not ourselves.
Mm.
And I love this thing about the tide, the ocean tides come in and out twice a day. And it's a great lesson about giving and receiving, in and out, flow in balance. And so anywhere where there is not balance and you cannot see or appreciate your own value, your own goodness, your own magnificence, that the scales are not sitting in balance, they're tipped. And you might still be able to appreciate what other people are bringing to the table, but the energy of it is different. When you can actually claim and understand your own magnificence and stand comfortably in that without ego and be open to the magnificence of others, that creates an energetic flow which is very different to what we typically see. We are seeing more of it, which I think is lovely.
Yes.
I love this example of do the work on yourself first. That's really important. Get to know you, get to value you, understand what you're bringing to the table. Ask for divine love to come to you, universal love. Accept it into your heart, savor it, and let the overflow be shared with others.
Beautiful.
That is a beautiful model, isn't it?
Oh, it's a beautiful model. Well said too. I mean, yeah. I
It's
forgot
the
what I was.
new currency. And I love the idea of using love as your intention. Like the questions that you're asking yourself about what choice you make. What would love do? What would love say at this point? I think that, if I was acting in love, what's the most loving response here? I think that they're really important kind of guideposts to navigate life.
Yes, and it's a good pausing moment to stop and think, what would love do? And also, you can ask for guidance, ask for help. You've always got that backup.
Yeah, I love that thought of what's the highest outcome for all here. It's egoless. It's with your
Yes.
heart in the right place.
Yeah.
Well, we chat about I've been weaving in and out of it because I'm now delirious and can't recall where the line was between the two.
Yeah, I know it was.
But in the quest of and service to love, if possible, the first step is to love yourself. And this is from the 115th channeling from Egyptian goddess Isis, from the 19th of the 2nd, 2024, on the topic of love as well. This is this energy of loving yourself. You fill up your energy body with the high vibration energy. And the goal is to get it so full that it overflows. And then the overflow can gleefully be given to those around you and the world. And again, for a lot of women, we've been taught that it's our job to keep giving and giving and giving, not expecting anything back and giving from an empty well, and then keep giving, even though the well is empty. And it's just such a flawed model because you end up giving out of a space of bitterness,
Yes, most
exhaustion,
Yeah.
frustration, all of those lower vibration energies. And no one wants that stuff.
No, no, they don't. Yeah,
No
so
one wants or needs that energy. It's crappy energy. So the idea of filling yourself up first by really appreciating who you are and actively asking for divine love to come into your heart and energy bodies, physical body.
yes, you can feel the vibration changing, even just thinking about it, can't you?
And giving from a space of, I choose to give to you. I'm not giving to you because it's expected and I've been told that's what my job is. I want to give to you.
Yeah.
That is such a different energy to the energy of
Yes.
here.
Yeah. Here, have it. Yeah, new ways, new energies from the new earth. It's just, as I said before, it's all a game changer on how we live, living better.
Oh, this was the one that did say about the egoic love. An overflow of love for you is not representative of egoic self-love.
Yeah.
It's appreciation of your magnificence. And you know what I love about that word, Simone, is that, oh, I think it could be something like 7 years ago, something like that. I was guided to make a bespoke bushflower essence,
Yeah.
and it was called Radiating Magnificence.
Mm.
And the magnificence was given to me by a friend. Actually, she described how she felt about herself after a session with me was that she was radiating magnificence. But magnificence is the term that the divine uses about each of us, about seeing our magnificence.
Yes.
And I love this idea of that we are all fractals of the divine.
Mm.
We are the divine incarnate. And so when the divine looks at us, the divine can see our magnificence. And you think, if the divine can see my magnificence, maybe I should be able to too. Maybe I could back that. Maybe that's something I could stand for as well. So I love this. And anytime I hear someone use the word magnificence, because it's not really in common usage,
No.
I know that they have a connection with source energy when they use that word. It's really poignant. So, yeah, understanding your magnificence then allows you the space and the grace to understand wholeheartedly the magnificence of others and to celebrate that. And I'd love that in the last couple of years, we have seen in Hollywood women in particular being celebrated for celebrating other women.
Mm.
Like Jamie Lee Curtis has become an icon of
Celebrating.
being the cheer squad and cheering these women on and being thrilled for them. She's not the only one. There are many who are turning that
tide. Yeah, it's been coming for years, hasn't it? That movement of celebrating women and holding them up. About time.
and changing the dynamic from women being pitted against each other to women supporting each other. That it's circle, it's sisterhood, it's a win for you is a win for me.
Yeah.
And I could not be happier for you.
Yes.
Rather than the opposite of white-anting each other and, getting vicious about the success of others. Such low vibration energy. And each of us, what I adore in all of this is that each of us has the choice to make. I choose not to be a part of the old model of bringing other women down, bringing other people down. I choose love and kindness. I choose celebrating others' magnificence. And I'm
Yeah,
comfortable in my own.
wise words.
Did you love the bit in this one about that the love songs from last century were in a
Yeah,
way portents or omens of what was to come? And at the time, people probably thought that's just for the romantics or the idealists.
yeah.
But in the 2000s, we're seeing big shifts where love can make anything possible.
Yeah, interesting that all the love songs coming through.
Well, you and I have been so deeply involved the last couple of weeks with George Michael's music and his energy. And spoiler alert, there's some George Michael channelings coming up in the near future. So watch out for those. But have you got some favourite love songs?
I do. I've got many. Just wouldn't know where to start. But I just as talking about George Michael, one of my favorite ones is Jesus to a Child, which I think he based that song on one of his love affairs. You
Oh,
know, yes, he's one of the most important love of his life who died. So, but I thought it was interesting. He couched it in terms of Jesus's love for a child. So it was a nurturing, begoning love that was, ended too soon.
oh, just heartbreaking, isn't it?
I
To
know.
experience love is a gift.
Oh, it's, yeah, absolute
To
blessing.
feel that, to feel love is incredible. In this one, they mentioned understanding your magnificence and using modalities like gene keys. I just wanted to reference that this is GENEKEYS. I think it's probably something like .co.uk because Richard Rudd, who channeled the gene keys modality, is from the UK. But you can get a free profile if you put into Google gene keys and free profile. You just need to know your time of birth. And it gives you a 3-page report. People who understand the modality, which is quite complex, it draws on 5 different ancient modalities, like astrology and the I Ching and the tree of knowledge and etc. etc. On page 1 and 3 of the report, you need to understand gene keys for that to mean anything to you. But on page 2, it gives you 4 different headings about your radiance and your health and a couple of others, your purpose. And I find that extremely valuable. But you can also draw on other modalities like astrology, numerology, whatever aligns with you. But using these great modalities that we've been gifted to help us navigate and interpret life and understand who we are is powerful in kicking you along on your journey if you're feeling a little adrift and not sure where to start. We've both done our gene keys, haven't we?
We have.
I won't ask you what yours was about because it's a while ago that we.
It is a while ago, and I've been meaning to go back and just refresh my mind on that. But I think Gene Keys, that was a new one for me when you brought it up to me a few years ago. I've never heard of it, didn't know what it was.
Well, it's like the cousin of human design. And a lot of people actually do both of them and they interweave beautifully because they draw on the same 5 modalities. Both powerful in showing you who you are, as is numerology, astrology, and goodness knows how many other modalities. We're spoiled for choice. But I love the idea that we are so looked after, that there are these tools that we can draw on to help us understand who we are and what we're bringing to the table. So I invite our friends to have a little explore of those if it aligns with you, to help you on your merry way with this magnificence quest.
Oh,
I do like
that's nice.
quest. When I was an interior designer, I used to love a cushion quest because I do love cushions. So,
Yeah.
you know, I do like a quest. Fair to be true to God, I do love a quest. And there's nothing better than actually completing a quest successfully. So, yeah, let me see what this last bit is saying. Again, there's just again and again and again, there is a common theme of anything that you do for you in terms of growth, in terms of understanding yourself, in terms of loving yourself, how you treat yourself, all of it, everything actually sends out seismic waves that influence those around you, and the earth. Nothing is in isolation.
No.
So every time, and this came through yesterday, again in a channeling, every time you take a step forward, so do the people around you and the animals around you and the earth around you, and so does the earth in general. It is completely cohesive. One changing does not just happen in that one place to that one person. It
Yes.
spreads throughout all of it.
So nothing's done in isolation. So we all
Nothing's
benefit.
done. Yeah, yeah. And even that, I'm sure this comes up in a channeling in the future that you and I have chatted about. But even the thought of that old spiritual idea of I need to go and be in a cave by myself so that I can rise to the greatest level of spirituality. And the wise teaching, the old adage of that helps no one. You being alone in a cave because you can't be as spiritually adept in the real world. The real teaching and learning and benefit comes when you're practicing it with how you treat the person who makes your coffee,
Yeah.
with how you can be open-hearted with the person in traffic who's driving you crazy, when how you are with the person you love who is driving you insane at that particular point. These are all where the spiritual practices come into play. Likewise, when you're at the chemist and you're kind to the people behind the desk and other shoppers witness that kindness and it rubs off on them. You won't always know what your influence is, but you never know the impact that you can truly have.
Yes, it's so love in action, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that's such a good way to put it.
Yeah.
So I loved these channelings on love. We're going to sandwich the two of them together for this one. And look, we're keen to hear what you think and what seeds have been planted for you, what you agree with, any thoughts you want to share. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, share with a friend. It's so great to be here with you. I appreciate and love you, Simone. Thank you for doing this.
Thanks, Treena, and thanks to everyone for listening. It's lovely to be with you.
Ciao for now.
Bye.